So today I am going to talk exclusively about Claude Code and Cursor. What are the differences, the benefits of using one and the other? If you stay until the end of the video, this will save you approximately 1 year of work, even if you are a developer. So uh, I am going to update you with these two tools. I use both. Uh, Cursor is superior in some things like visualization, like interface, but Cloud Code is superior in programming and having an agent, and in performance is a machine. Cloud Code is on another level. It is the best that exists in programming, but it has its details. So if you stay until the end, you are going to learn a lot because this is an educational video. It is for learning. Here I will show you step by step, first a comparison, then we will go directly to try Cursor, then we will try Cloud Code. Etsimmästä on avina synthesis no pumpi. But we will do it with practice and with examples. The most important thing is that you first need to understand what these two things are. Cursor uh, is a fork, meaning it's within VS Code, which is from Microsoft, which is a code editor, like a chat interface that allows you to program automatically by selecting certain types of models. I've been working with this editor for a year. I know its evolution. Cloud Code is an interface within your terminal. It integrates directly into your terminal, which is where we work to program. So it is much faster. From what I could test, it is approximately 20 to 30% faster and at higher limits. Let's move on to the demonstration of how both platforms work. Let's start with the cursor. This is a code. There's nothing secret here, so I can show you. It's a project. What do we have here? Here I have my project, as you can see here on the left, which is normal, which the browser is basically VS Code, but we are using Cursor. Cursor takes that code and uses it as a worksheet, so to speak. What do we have here? We have the usual. We have an area where we have the terminal. We have the area where we have our code. I have backend, frontend, and other things. I already have Cloud Code installed here as well. And also what we have are the work tabs, which is what I come to work on. And on the other hand, here are the terminal details. How does Cursor work? Now I am going to enable the Cursor chat. When we open the Cursor chat, this is the Cursor interface. Notice how it is, on one hand, user-friendly. It has some extremely interesting features. I was making a modification. I'm going to show you my project so you can see how it works in the real world. For this, the project is in a company in Paraguay that has a free GPT chat. All this is done with Cursor and with. But let's make a modification. Look at this component. This component is actually a component. Here, all I can do is the expandable button component. I can simply drag and drop, launch the Cursor agent. It will already understand, meaning it's super simple for those kinds of things. It has different modes. The agent mode, which when you give it an instruction, it will take an action and edit the code. Here I am going to give an instruction, but I will only use the chat. From the mode selector, you can also optimize it. For example, here I am going to request a custom model. I don't want all the tools. I want it to search. I want it to edit. Don't want it to edit. I just want it to do a search, or I want it to edit, but I don't want it to run commands, and I don't want it to have MS. It will be called Rafa. When I click done, now I already have the Rafa mode. Mode Rafa. Right. Analyze, verify the correct syntax in this. What that will do in my mode, right, which I selected, which I customized, is perform a verification, perform a complete verification. Well, no, it doesn't run anything inside my terminal. I mean, I don't want it to run any type of command because I'm not interested. But notice how easy it is to program with this cursor option. Now, the another key benefit that cursor has, I'm going back to the same component and I'm going to change the agent mode and I'm going to ask it, make just one change. File. Make it lilac. So look at this. This is extremely important, though it seems basic. It's going to do it. It's going to make a change here. How it starts to touch the code, it already changed the color. And I'm going to my project and it changes to lilac. Horrible. So just for demonstrative purposes, I have the following option. I can do something called undo. That is, I can do a restore checkpoint. What does that mean? I can easily erase this action. I click here, I click restore, and my code automatically returns to normal. That is the superpower of Cursor. It allows you to have total, simple, and basic control within a user-friendly interface that is a chat. That is Cursor. I always recommend when working with Cursor that you know this tools and that you can create your own agents within Cursor. That is Cursor. Cursor allows you to have this super simple, super basic, super pleasant interface to work with and with a very short learning curve. That's on one hand. Now, what's happening with Cursor for me, the most complex thing is the cost, and I am going to project a cost difference. Let's go directly to cost. What happens? With the Cursor in the Pro plan, we have 225 calls. 225 calls to the tool. Imagine that. In 3 days, these 225 calls are easily consumed. In a month, if you are going to use this same mechanism that I am using, you will spend approximately $150 to $200 just on queries to Cursor. So there is the good and the bad. The good is an excellent interface. For me, the simple today, there is no better editor than Cursor AI in terms of interface. However, the price is high if you are going to dedicate yourself exclusively to this, right? Consider working with Cursor. Now, what is Bente, that's it. So, Bante, yeah, what is the good part? I already mentioned it directly on the chat platform, directly in a chat interface, and it's super simple. The learning curve is very short, so we have no problem with that. Now, let's move on to Cloud Code. Cloud Code, notice, let's start with the price difference. Huge price difference practically. If you edit one or two projects per month, enough, only $20. It uses Cloud Sonnet 4, which for me today is below Opus, the most powerful AI model for programming. That is, it is made for programming, and you have practically 2,700 calls to Sonnet in 1 month. This is an approximate 2,700. You're saying you have 10 times more than with Cursor. With Cursor, you would spend $200 to do the same thing you do with Cloud Code. That is a big difference for me. And really, I was very comfortable with Cursor. But when I started trying Cloud Code, I realized the superpower of Cloud Code. so basta ko pon po sa destiny, so observations must also be made. Isa rin again, Cloud Code runs in the terminal, and cursor is super simple because as I showed you, I just opened a file and we started editing. It's different. What happens with Cloud Code? A Cloud Code, you have to enter your terminal. My recommendation is that you execute in your terminal as you would have had it to start to or use Cloud Code. You have to go to the cloud page. The link will be there. You, as you can pause it, I will put all this in the video description so you have it, but you still need to update it because it might change. It was an npm install, meaning you copy this, go to your CMD and install it directly on your computer. Whether you have Windows, have Apple, you still install it. They are the same. After the installation, that means you already have your operating system running Cloud Code. What do you do? You go to cursor, for example. I'm going to close here, I mean hide the tab here, and I'm going to go to the extensions of VS Code, and I'm going to search for cloud, and I'm going to download. I'm going to install Cloud Code. Okay. That's what you are going to do. I will repeat it again. You will go to Anthropic. You will install it in your terminal. Then, once you install it on your computer, you will go to your code editor, which in this case is VS Code, and you will install Cloud Code, right? You will see it here. In this case, I already have it installed, and you will install it. What does this do? Basically, here it appears. As you could see, I also tried Cloud Code chat. I didn't like it. I think it's bad. I didn't like the experience. I don't recommend it. If you want to try it, you can, but I don't like it. I find it much more practical to use it directly in the terminal. So once you have Cloud Code, that's it. When you want to use Cloud Code, you just have to run. You will see this tab to quickly run Cloud Code. You do this after installing the application or the extension here in the marketplace. Run Cloud Code and it automatically starts running to cloud and it starts running from terminal. Notice the interface is already different. The interface is different. The good thing is that it has that's an important topic. You have to run it from your directory, from your repository. In my case, it's in desktop consulting. You can run it in desktop iProject or the project you have, and you have to run it there. So all the changes that Cloud Code makes will be on that directory. An agent, I'm going to ask Cloud Code to do something now so you can see the difference. It's like a chat, but this is a terminal, not a chat interface. And notice how the way it does its job changes. Create, analyze. Create a basic in root and Masarana automatically notice it is different. The interface is different. It will analyze the structure. It will generate a workflow. It will analyze the structure, the repository. At that moment, it starts working. What is the downside of Cloud Code? I mean, not the downside, como, but you do need to be careful if you don't have much experience with code because it will make these changes. It will analyze, it will examine, it will create a readme. Now, what you do not have is the restore checkpoint. What does it mean? You will not be able to undo or restore what has already hacer un uso o un restore de lo que ya applied Cloud Code. In this case, Apo, I'm going to say, okay, look, it created a complete readme. Oh, see how everything look beautiful. So I'm going to say, okay, because it works for me, I create here. I haven't created anything yet. I have to say, okay, I have to authorize it. And then it created a readme. Look, the readme is already created here. So the good thing is that the bad thing is that I don't have, look here, I don't have any button to undo or to restore. So my recommendation is to manage it with Git. The most important thing is that you also manage Git. Here we are not going to talk about Git, Git book, Git branch, Git push, nothing. But if they are intermediate developers, they surely already handle it. So the important thing is Cloud Code is a machine for programming. It's the best on the market. You won't find anything better, especially not with AI. Cursor is very good, but it costs 10 times more to do the same thing and is at least 30% slower. But it is used in comparison to do more surgical things. Right here on my terminal, I can open cursor and do the same thing we did a while ago. It's like with cursor, I perform a surgical operation on some component, some color I want to change, very specific, right? I am very careful with its use. When there is something I cannot resolve, Cloud Code is my machine for doing much broader things, even coding a project from scratch, setting up the architecture, creating the documentation. It's very good for documentation and practically for a particular use that that will be useful to almost 90% of the people who will probably watch this video. Elastic always manage with Cloud Code Git version. Always, 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 always commit after an important change. And in the worst case, Git reset. Reset hard in case you do something crazy because it also makes mistakes. So you have to be careful with that. That's what I see with Cloud Code. Cloud Code is fantastic. It's the best, but you have to be careful and note these exceptions. So this whole project I mentioned formed as an example. This is a 100% taken form. Notice the effects it has, how it loads in. So you can select the type of project you are going to with which you are going to work. Well, as I said, my recommendation is to be careful with cursor, careful with cloud, because each one has with cursor. Be careful with the costs. With cloud, be careful with the versions. So finally, what do we have? We have cursor, cloud, and I will leave the links below so you can try, can comment on your experience. Uh, if you want something later, something more specific about these editors, or have any experience or don't know how to do Git, how to version your code better, uh, or how to integrate AI into a platform, that's another point. Uh, this will help you a lot. So I really comment to see how it can be useful to you. The most interesting thing is that these tools did not come to replace developers. On the contrary, they are here to enhance work, and you need to know how to use them. As you saw, I use Cursor and Cloud Code on the same platform and work differently with both. Supaya pesos aus, keep in mind that if you don't use this, you will be at least 70% slower than the rest. You have to use it. We have to use it. If we don't use this as programmers, we will fall behind. It's time to use, to try, to test. I hope it was helpful. In the next video, well, the next video I will make based on the comments and delve deeper into specific topics, but this is an overview of these two products.
Comment to see what we talk about.